Hello and good morning or afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is Matthew De Geeter, the Senior Vice President of Strategic Enterprises at the American Society of Interior Designers. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar, our ASID Member Benefits Spotlight, featuring the Retirement Plan Program. So thank you for joining us today. You may have joined us for our previous Member Benefits Spotlights, so if you have, welcome back. If this is your first time joining us, this webinar series highlights ASID member benefits tailored for current individual members, organizational partners, and potential new members considering joining. So in the next 20 minutes, we will cover the following: explore an ASID member benefit, hear from a member, learn how to sign up, and get your questions answered. So as attendees, your audio is muted. And the attendee chat is disabled. However, please use the Q&A button on your toolbar to submit questions at any time, and we will respond to your questions during the Q&A portion of today's webinar. So keep those coming in. We really make sure we track those as well. So I will be your moderator for today's webinar, and I am joined by Brandon Oliver, Managing Partner at Arcwood Financial. Arcwood Financial is our program partner for the ASID Member Retirement Plan Program, and Cindy Trimble, owner and president of StudioTrimble. Cindy is an ASID member and utilizes this member benefit. Welcome, Brandon. Welcome, Cindy.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Matthew.
Very happy to have you. Looks like, Cindy, we just...
so much.
Doesn't look like we have you on camera quite yet, Cindy. There you are. Perfect.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so Brandon, I think we are going to start with you to give an overview about the program and its benefits.
Yeah, sure thing. Just quick introduction for myself. My name is Brandon Oliver. I'm a 401k consultant, and as I tell a lot of people, a recovering financial planner. So it means I used to work with individuals mostly, and now I work with individuals, but mostly business owners, helping them build, design, monitor 401k plans. But as part of that, I wear two hats. One is working with business owners to help them set up, monitor all those things with the 401k. But the other hat is still working with their employees, right? Making sure they understand those benefits, things of that nature, provide them consulting when they need it. So the ASID Member Retirement Program, that's what we're here to discuss today. This is an exclusive benefit made available to all of you as members. And in addition to the fact that it's very cost efficient, I guess I'm saying is due to economies of scale, right? You're getting really good pricing with any of the platforms or products you might get through this. There's a lot of other really neat and interesting features that all the leadership staff at ASID made sure that were included in this program when we rolled it out. So some of these include things like fiduciary liability outsourcing, right? So some people who've never maybe had a 401k before or have a large 401k, but they're kind of concerned about, well, I don't know if I want to do all those tasks, or I'm a little bit afraid of maybe some of the liability with being a named fiduciary or a quote unquote plan sponsor. We have some solutions that let you outsource all of that. Also, another potential feature, I would say one of the biggies, is this is non-proprietary, meaning it's not like one size or one product fits all. So if you're someone like Cindy, when you meet with Arcwood for the first time and you're trying to look at what your options are for your company, we're going to look at options available from all the providers across the United States, right? And help you find one that has the right solutions and pricing for your needs as a business owner. And also to tie into that is consulting, right? The best place to start with any of this is just to reach out, schedule a meeting. If you have a group retirement plan or you're wanting one, and you get a free one-on-one consulting meeting with either myself or anyone else on our team at Arcwood to discuss, like, what are you looking for in a retirement plan? Are you just trying to get a large tax deduction for yourself? Are you trying to increase a benefit to increase employee retention and attract new employees? The goals are going to be different for every business owner, and the consulting and non-proprietary aspect of this program is, I think, one of its largest benefits. In addition to kind of these core functions, let's just talk about solutions. Because again, you have a very diverse group at ASID. We have a lot of sole practitioners, but we also have a good amount of small businesses, right? Like Cindy's business, who has several designers underneath her. And then there are some firms that are much larger with dozens, if not hundreds of employees under their umbrella. The ASID member retirement program has solutions for everyone. So let's say you're a sole practitioner, or maybe a sole practitioner and a spouse, right? We have what's called a solo 401k program. So that's available for single individuals or single individuals like their spouse. I know I'm repeating myself, but these are really neat. And what I like to say about the solo 401k, I won't get into the technical stuff because Matt will just do one of those things where he pulls me right off the screen. But our solo 401ks are neat because they allow for much higher deductions than you would traditionally find in something like a SEP IRA, right? And that's specifically just due to the fact that solo 401ks let you count yourself as an employee, but also the owner. So we see deductions usually 20, 30, 40,000 more than you see in a SEP IRA with the solo 401k. So if you are operating your own practice and you're looking for bigger tax deductions, we can definitely do that for you. But like I said, for practices like Cindy's, small business with employees, we have a lot of different solutions there too, right? Solutions, again, non-proprietary, a lot of different options, but solutions that would be better for that small business that outsources some of the responsibilities, but also maybe works with smaller payroll solutions or maybe internal payroll solutions like QuickBooks. And then for mid to large design firms, I kind of categorize this as over 15 employees, over 25, maybe up into the hundreds. We start looking at all the national carriers, right? We're looking at things like Fidelity, Vanguard, Voya, and really trying to find the best pricing for you as well as the best value. All right, this is what I always say in all of our presentations whenever we meet with somebody. This is the best time ever to start a 401k. So if you've never had a group retirement program before, post 2022 is the best time you can ever start one. So maybe if you procrastinated a little bit, you've always been thinking about starting a 401k and feel bad that you didn't, well, maybe you just lucked out today. So regulation came out that's called Secure 2.0. It came effective in 2022, and it offered all these great tax credits to try to incentivize small businesses to offer a 401k for the first time. So there's some big ones, right? We have this administrative tax credit that's giving you essentially $250 per year for every non-owner. Sorry, that's a big one. It's not for yourself. So you have to have people who are non-owners or non-highly compensated, but they'll give you $250 per employee up to $5,000. But the even better one is they have something that they came out with, which is the employer contribution tax credit. So not only do you get money to help you with the hard costs of offering a 401k, but the federal government's also going to give you money to offset your match, right? That's a big part of offering a 401k. It's not just saying we have it, but maybe giving employees money from you as the employer. There's a tax credit that will cover up to $1,000 per employee per year for part of that. And that trails off over about 5 years, but that's even more. And that can be a lot of free money, right? That can be up to 100 employees. And then we still have another one called the automatic enrollment. That's another $500. But what we see is most of the time for the first 3 years of operating your plan, we can offset all the hard costs of offering the plan, plus probably around 80 to 100% in trailing down of whatever type of contribution you decide to give your employees, be it a match or just a profit sharing, that's being offset. But again, this is just for new plans. So if you are currently offering a plan, there's a few available, but a lot of these might be off the table. And then I guess this is the biggie right here. So this program is completely non-proprietary, and I talk a lot about how business owners and all the members of ASID are really different, right? You all have your own goals and needs when creating a retirement plan, be them for yourselves or for your employees. So this isn't a one-size-fits-all. We have everything you've ever heard of within a retirement plan. You can have offered in this if that's something you want. So that's things like profit sharing, right? Do you want to allow your employees to participate in the year-end profits of the firm, hopefully incentivizing them to maybe work harder for the design firm? Do you want to have vesting schedules in the plan saying, well, we are going to give you money as an employer, but we want you to be with us for more than 3 years or more than 5 years? We have Roth contributions. A lot of people like the idea of Roth, right? Getting tax-free income in retirement. And a lot of people think they can't do that because they make too much. 401ks are a completely different animal. Anyone can have and contribute to a Roth, no matter how much money you make, if it's in a 401k chassis. There's loans available if you want those or not. Really, that's dependent on if you think that's appropriate for your participants or not. On and on and on. After-tax contributions, safe harbor contributions, matches, non-elective, deferred comp, golden handcuffs, right? We can really build these things out to be whatever you want them to be. And that all comes in those consulting meetings and making sure we create a plan that matches your goals with what you want to give your employees and what you want to do for yourself.
That's great, Brandon. Thank you so much for that overview. And I think the important piece here to know about is, like, 1, tax credits, pretty awesome. 2, also program flexibility, because as you said, this isn't a one size fits all. And I think 3, being able to have someone to help guide you through this, because there's a lot of terminology involved. And there's a lot of, like, moving parts depending on what you want to use and what you want to utilize. And so I think you said one of the most important things so far, Brandon, is, like, get in touch with the folks at Arcwood Financial. They will walk you through what's best for you, and, like, so that they will help you navigate this, which is a really important thing, because business owners, you're busy. You're, got a lot of things on your plate and what you're trying to balance. And so what we're trying to do through this program is help guide you to a solution and help them guide you to what's best for you, not just require you to sign up for a random 401k or something that may not be the best fit for you, but really find out what your goals are and then help you build from there. So, all right. So to lead us into the next part, we're going to hand this over to Cindy. So Cindy, tell us about your experience. You're a part of the Member Retirement Plan program for ASID. I think you've had some history with and knowledge from having other 401ks or retirement plan options. So, tell us about your experience and what it's been like so far.
Absolutely. Matthew, thank you for including me in this. Really very excited to be a part of it. Like a lot of designers, when I got out of school back in the mid 80s, I know it was just yesterday, but anyway, I worked for very large firms for quite a few years, and they had all the programs. They had the ESOP, the 401k, all of that. And so after a period of time, I split off on my own 30 years ago and started my company. And for many years, it was just myself and another employee. And in the last, I would say 10 years, we have grown to 5 employees now. But my struggle over the years is the way that the traditional programs were structured. If you did not have 10 employees, you were not eligible for any of the benefit programs. And that included medical and, retirement planning. And so I tried and I started a program where I would subsidize my employees' cost of medical premiums. And so that's how I started that. But the retirement planning was something that didn't happen really until ASID introduced this program, which is great. Before, someone took care of it all for me in the big firms, but now it was all on me. And you're right, we are busy, and I am not a financial person. And so it was a bit intimidating, but Arcwood made it Brandon, bear with me. I had to go through it a couple of times to really get my head around it and understand all the parts. But my reason for doing it was for several reasons. Number one, I wanted my firm to be competitive in the design market. I wanted my employees to know that I was investing in them. And just like they were helping me keep the business going, I wanted them to share in their hard work. Number two, I wanted a program that was easy for me to manipulate. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. We had the election, last week, or yeah, last week. And so, none of us knew what was going to happen. I mean, we have world events that can turn our world upside down. And so I wanted the ability to be able to modify it quickly if I had to tighten up on certain monies going out the door to maintain my cash flow. I wanted something that my employees were not intimidated by. I wanted something where they could log in, see their accounts, could easily, with a couple of clicks, modify how much they were contributing. And I do contribute. And they are, contributing on their own at different levels. And I'm the most senior person. My employees are in their 20s and 30s. And prior to this, none of them had any retirement plans. So being my age, I have quickly realized that things come up and you do need to have cash for life emergencies, but you also want to plan for the future. So this was a way that I could help them in the long term to start saving, for their future. And then last but not least, certainly is the tax credit. It's very difficult, at the end of the year to have to write a big payment to the government for taxes. And so I do profit sharing as well, so that I pay them bonuses that are tax-free. I do invest in their 401ks. So when I talk to them about their salary and their total employment package, I put a spreadsheet together that really shows all of these things together and the potential. And so I think it really, gives them a warm and fuzzy feeling that they're being protected and they're being appreciated. So, and I think that was all I had on my list. So thank you.
I think that's a pretty amazing list right there, Cindy.
Yeah.
A lot that you're able to navigate. And, I think a really helpful piece is that, you're a small business, you're a small enterprise, but you're able to compete and compete for talent because of what you're offering and what you're providing and what you've been able to offer and provide for your employees.
Well, another point I did want to make. This is an interesting one. I live in the mountains. I'm in an incredibly remote area. I'm right where Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee come together. And so I'm an hour and a half from Atlanta. I'm an hour and a half from Chattanooga. I'm 2 hours from Asheville, North Carolina. So to attract good talent to come to a very remote, small town takes a little bit more. And so your point is so well taken. I have to compete with the big boys, and I have to be able to offer a package that they feel is, something that is competitive in the large market. So
it's really important. And you mentioned, working and leaning on Brandon a bit in order to get
yeah.
And so what, Brandon, Cindy together, what was that process like? For, from that initial conversation to, what solution you eventually landed on?
I think we did 2 consulting meetings.
We did.
With Cindy, and she also brought her accountant along on both of those, because that's who she was going to outsource a lot of the deferral files and making sure her payroll system was set up and do some of the other responsibilities that the 401k wasn't taking. And then maybe one summary email, but I mean, they grasped it pretty quick. It was really just not the platform, but just like Cindy just deciding, well, do I want to do a match or do I want to do profit sharing? She took a little bit of time, had some questions, and that was kind of it for the decision-making process, I think.
Yeah, that's correct. And I've been through this before, and they had not, so it was very helpful. And then you also sent us copies of the presentations, so they were able to watch the presentations on their own additional times. Like I had to watch it a couple of times to really understand all the parts and pieces and components and features. And so it once I reached a comfort level, then it was just moving forward from there.
Yeah, I will tell you, you're definitely promoting it well. So Cindy has 100% participation rate in her 401k. So she has all these young people saving for retirement, which is great. Because the younger we can start, the more we're going to have. And a lot of us,
Mhm.
that was hard, right? Especially people who own businesses, you have to reinvest in it. But just getting young people to invest is hard. And she did that. So her contribution she's giving them is kind of like a profit sharing. It's just like, hey, I love you. But she
Yeah.
added automatic enrollment, and all of her employees are deferring a lot and still in the plan, and they don't have to. So I think you're doing something right over there, and I'm really excited to see your example, like 100% participation in 401k. That doesn't happen every day, so it's pretty neat.
That's wonderful. So I'm just going to do a shout out to our audience. Make sure you take advantage of Q&A. I know that you may have a lot of questions that you are forming yet because you're probably thinking about your own options or where you have been or where you might be going to. So as you're thinking about that, I'm going to show some important information like how to sign up, how to get started. So I'm going to share my screen real quick. Back over here, back over there. So want to make this as easy as possible. And so go to asid.org. You can go right under resources, ASID Advantage, ASID Member Retirement, or under resources, hit Design Business by ASID, and you'll also see a link to that as well. What you're going to find is it really guides you to contacting Arcwood, contacting Brandon and team, because they're going to guide you through those options. Because as we've mentioned and emphasized, this is not a one-size-fits-all situation. This has to be really tailored to your goals, what you want to do for your company, your organization, and how you want to support your employees. And it doesn't have to be a whole group of employees. This can be just you. So we wanted to make sure that this was flexible depending on any type of design firm and practice that's out there as well. So that's a key piece there as well. FYI, a recording of this video will be on that page as well. So you will be able to always come back to this information, especially if you want to revisit, because we know you may need to also revisit that information. Now we're going to move to that member Q&A, but we're seeing a pretty quiet Q&A right now. So just want to give you a few seconds thinking about that. But as you do, I'd say thinking Brandon, Cindy, is there anything else that we may want our audience to actually know about with this program? Brandon, you mentioned like this is the best time to start a retirement plan program. Cindy, you're using this specifically for retention and recruitment of employees and talent. What other things come top of mind, that you may want to be considering as a firm owner as well?
Well, and as I mentioned, I am over the age of 65, so I don't have any plans to retire anytime soon. But my hope and dream is the company continues, and so this actually starts to allow my employees to feel a little more ownership in this and start to think of the business because they will taking on the responsibilities want to again attract young talent to come to the mountains. So but I want to thank ASID for coming up with these programs because it really is it's been very frustrating as a small business to be out in the big competing with the big boys and just immediately be eliminated because you aren't big enough. And so it's very much appreciated to have these types of programs.
It's the best endorsement we can get, Cindy. Hearing from like that.
Yeah, I think one of the top things to really, if you're thinking about a 401k for the first time, is really, we can talk about this on a consulting call, but like really think about what you want out of it and what you're thinking you're willing to offer employees. Because the most successful retirement plans, it's nice to just say you have one, right? When you're interviewing people and they go, is there a 401k? You can say yes, but most of the times it's going to be appreciated the most and increase retention and attraction when there is some kind of an employer contribution, and you're usually looking just so if you're thinking about this, it's usually about 3% of payroll is usually what you're thinking about as an employer contribution. So just kind of have that in the back of your mind. But again, the first 5 years, if $1,000 per employee is going to cover something like that, or half of that, you're in a better place than just looking at 3%. But those are kind of the big ones, right? How much of a tax deduction do you want as a business owner? And what can you afford to give the employees? And then we can take it from there and really, shine the thing up and make it have all the other bells and whistles you're looking for.
And the other thing, this is my first year. So I'm just now, once we finish fourth quarter and I get with my accountant, I'm very excited about seeing what those tax credits are that I can take advantage of. There's just lots of benefits for this program. And, I think as small of a business as you are, you can make it affordable and you can work it into your bottom line, so that it's a win-win for you and your employees.
Yeah, and to tout one more thing you said, Cindy, that's really smart. It's that hidden paycheck, right? Not just offering group health plans and ancillary benefits and now 401k for practice like yours, but making sure your employees see that. Because a lot of times they'll just go across the street for another $1 an hour or
Right.
10% raise.
Right.
About the fact that you're giving them 5% in the 401k. The health benefits you're giving them are an equal to a benefit of $6,000 a year. Doing something like what you're doing, which is called a hidden paycheck, and making sure they see that in black and white, that's super smart. So I think that's it. That wasn't my idea, that was hers, but I think everyone should be running with it.
I think it's all, what it comes down to is it's the entire portfolio of what you offer as a firm and what that, kind of package is. And, really want to emphasize, Cindy and Brandon, what you were both mentioning is that this program is not just meant to be an employee benefit, but it's also benefiting the employer. And so, and so everyone can win. That's really the ideal situation here as well. And I think that's going to be also where we wrap up today's conversation as well. I think that's a good thing to remember. So for everybody, I'm going to share my screen one more time as we say thank you. And one, I want to say thank you to our audience for being here and being attending for our retirement plan program webinar, Member Benefit Spotlight. Huge thank you to our panelists, Brandon Oliver and Cindy Trimble, because without you, this program wouldn't be possible and, really help bring this to life. So I think a key takeaway here is, really evaluate what you need for your own firm, what you think you would like to provide for your own employees, but then also 3, get in contact with Arcwood Financial and let them guide you through whatever is best for you. And they will be patient and help you along that way because there's a lot of education that's involved with it too. So just a reminder, a recording from today's webinar will be available on the ASID YouTube channel, linked on the ASID website, and also shared in Design Connection by ASID in the Member Hub library. So please be sure to fill out the survey at the conclusion of the webinar. Your feedback helps us improve the program. And also want to ask you to mark your calendars. In a few weeks on Tuesday, December 10th at 2 p.m. Eastern, we will actually have our next Member Benefit Spotlight featuring a very new benefit, the ASID Member Talent Recruitment Program. So if we're talking about engaging talent, this is our opportunity to now recruit as well. So please be sure to check out all the ASID programs available through Design Business to help you start, build, and to sustain a healthy practice. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you very much.